Near as I can tell, most men associate danger or being dangerous with having an AR-15 and a plethora of ammunition. Or maybe they assume that it's somebody who has experience in contested environments, whether somebody's deployed downrange, they grew up in wrestling or mixed martial arts or boxing. Maybe they assume that somebody's dangerous who's been punched in the face. Maybe they see danger happening in the world and thinking that that is what people who engage in those activities is what makes somebody dangerous. It kind of stands to reason for this because this is kind of what the world and the media sells us, isn't it? You watch an action movie, and what you see is on the at least that first layer of danger, right? Especially if you watch a classic 80s and 90s action movie, which they simply don't make like they used to. But let me know which one your favorite is or who your favorite action movie star is. And what you're probably going to find is a high death count in the movie, right? Some good old missing in action movies. You're going to find this idea that spilling blood, or the capability of spilling blood, is what makes a man dangerous. But as far as I can tell, there is something much more profound. There's a competency, if you will, or an attribute, kind of moves in both directions there, that makes somebody much more dangerous than simply possessing tools or equipment or having experience. And without this piece, you may be able to effect harm on somebody. You may be able to protect somebody, but are you as dangerous as you can be? Not just in times of action, but on the daily. I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts and your comments down below about what makes a man dangerous. In my experience, it's not knowledge, it's not experience. It all comes down to one thing. One thing will make you dangerous, and it's something that, if executed properly, may scare the shit out of yourself, as well as being able to ultimately do the things that you want to do. And that one thing is integrity. Having a ramrod in your spine and making the correct decisions now. Too many times we get caught up in worrying about, 30 years from now, man. We need to worry about what we can control right now. And the first thing that we have to be honest with ourselves with and have this integrity, right? This integrity is more than saying the right thing. It is doing and living the right thing. And I believe that the first thing that we need to have some honesty with ourselves about is who we are as it relates to something that is bigger than ourselves. Discover that why. What is the purpose? What is your relationship with, I'm going to say with God, right? And so what is this all about? How do we relate with one another as well, right? But before we can get to having integrity with somebody else, we need to have some honesty with ourselves. Ask ourselves those tough questions. That's the next step of becoming dangerous. And that's what can scare the hell out of us. Because too many people refuse to ask themselves the hard questions. of looking inwardly and questioning ourselves, our motives, our actions, our deeds, our thoughts, what we do at night, what we do during the day. Am I doing something with honor, or am I doing something for myself? Am I living my life selfishly, or am I living my life selflessly? And again, we can answer and ask these questions in all of those small, mundane, routine things. Am I spending too much time watching YouTube? Am I spending too much time watching television? Or watching news that's only trying to wag the dog? Should I be spending more time with my family? More time discovering more about life? More about the people around me? And as we begin to ask and answer these questions, I think that we'll find that it will shift and shape how we live our lives on the daily, right? And then the next thing we do is we start to ask and answer these questions in things that are happening around us. Because if we're going to do what's right, then that's exactly what we need to do. So you're walking towards a door and somebody's walking towards you. Do you open it, or do you let them open it for you? Just as a very minuscule, seemingly doesn't mean anything example, but all of those little things combined prepares you for the bigger things when life begins to smack you in the face. And life is good at smacking us in the face, isn't it? Somebody cuts us off. Do we let our anger rise against them within us? Even though that anger will serve absolutely no purpose at making anything right, at restoring anything that was broken, right? All it's going to do is fuel and feed our own dark ego. If we see somebody on the street, how many videos have we all seen of somebody capturing with their phone a moment where somebody is being harmed? And what did they do? They filmed it. They filmed it. I'm sure we would all like to say that if I was there, things would have gone down a little bit differently. If we take a hard, honest look at ourselves, would we have really done anything different? Maybe we wouldn't have captured it on our phones, but would we have stepped in and done something right, even though harm may come upon ourselves? Somebody is gossiping at work, right? About a coworker, about a customer, about the owner. Do we stop it and talk what's right? Do we just let it happen in the background and not participate, thinking that if I do nothing when something wrong is being said or when something wrong is happening, that I'm somehow innocent? If we begin to take action, to say the right things, well, first, to believe the right things, right? First, we believe the right things. We think the right things. We say the right things. And we do the right things. All of the little things need to be handled right and accordingly. And once we're good with those, then we begin to move on to more and more challenging things. Now, of course, there's risk that's going to be assumed in living a life like this. Because you may find and discover things about yourself that you didn't or don't care for. It may cause you to change some habits. It may cause you to change the way you believe and think about yourself, about you and your partner, about you and your family, you and your coworkers, you and your community. We can't continue asking our own answers. Right? We cannot continue to ask our own answers. If we really want to be refined, if we really want for our metal to be hardened, if we really want to sharpen ourselves, then we have to live dangerously. And doing that is living with integrity. Team, I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts and your comments down below. Maybe it was an experience that caused you to question something about yourself, something about your relationship with something or someone else, and a decision that you made one way or another. As we all continue to master our craft and develop our tactical virtue, I'll see you on the other side. So until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked. Team, if you want to master your craft and develop your tactical virtue, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so that you can stay up to date on future content. Consider becoming a channel member. It's going to give you exclusive access to content not available to anybody else. I appreciate you guys. Until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked.